What's going on, everybody? Charles, aka the Handsome Homebuyer, and today we're going to be talking about 2020, oh what a year 2020, and what to expect in 2021. All right, 2020 was an intense year to say the least. A lot of instability. We have never experienced anything like what we experienced this year in a lifetime, and I know some pretty old people, and they have all said they have never seen anything like this in the last 80, 90 years. But the important thing to remember is a lot of it is mindset, meaning from great instability comes unbelievable opportunity. Okay, and a lot of things that happened in 2020, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes, were already on their way to happening. 2020 just poured gasoline on them. Okay, so 2020, obviously, COVID, we had a society that was really already shifting into a digital society, everything being online, delivery, etc. That just accelerated it, right? But what did we see? We saw unemployment, we saw that shift, we saw a lot of businesses go out of business, but we also saw a lot of businesses and new industries emerge like anything. So what I want to talk about is the different assets in real estate and what's going on in 2020 and what I predict is going to happen in 2021. We briefly interrupt this vlog to remind you, if you haven't already, click, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. So as far as real estate goes, the big thing is suburbia, yes. Urban areas, no. They've been an agglomeration over the last 10 years. New York City blew up, massive population increase, urban cities around the country and around the world. Companies going there, talent going there, young people going there for lifestyle, for jobs, for money, and everything. Now it's exactly the opposite. With coronavirus, people don't want to be in little apartments. It's become extremely expensive in the city. New York City was already, prices were starting to drop prior to coronavirus, so now everybody's leaving. You have a mass exodus from every city, and people are going to the suburbs for cheaper prices and more space. A lot of people are even leaving certain states like California and New York. You have interest rates that just when you didn't think interest rates could get any cheaper, people are now getting mortgages for single family homes in the 2s. And there's just a lot going on. So how does this affect the different asset classes in 2020? How are they impacted, and what I think is going to happen in 2021? So the 5 asset classes we're going to look at single family homes, industrial, retail, office, and multifamily. So single family homes, booming. We are blowing out houses. I literally blew out a house the other day in 15 minutes. Everything is going over ass, especially in the first-time home buyer market. It is absolute pandemonium. So if you are an investor and you have the ability to get access to quality distressed product that you can renovate, get it, do it, keep doing it. 2020 was insane for that. A lot of people held back. As soon as Corona hit, my dad looked at me, God bless him, and said, Charles, everyone's gonna leave the city. I bought 17 houses the first month that Corona hit when nobody else wanted to buy. Another side note, I raise private money, that's how I fund all my deals. Institutional hard money lenders that were lending very aggressively prior to this dried up. Their credit lines dried up. Nobody would take the product in the secondary because they were really afraid of mortgage forbearance and things like that. So that just left me. That gave me the ability to really crank up and buy a ton of product, whereas last year I was laying low because I didn't like the pricing, I didn't like what's going on in the market. But as soon as COVID hit, I jumped in with 2 feet. So get out there and actually check out one of my other videos on how to raise private money. This way, next time there's an economic recession, and let me tell you, there will be, and the same thing is gonna happen. You're gonna have institutions not being able to lend money. You'll have your list of private investors that you've been working with that trust you, that you've made the money for years, and you can go right to those people. So single family market, absolutely on fire in 2020. Industrial, insanely on fire. It was crazy before Corona. Now prices have to be up somewhere in the neighborhood of 20%. Everyone is looking for warehouse space. People are converting warehouses into offices. You're getting ghost kitchens. It is crazy. Amazon is buying up everything, and there's huge demand in the industrial space, really between like 1,000 and 5,000 square feet. That 2,000, 2,500 is a very hot market within industrial. The problem up to this point has really been the pricing for investors. So out here, the cost to build, because it's gone up so much, you're looking at 20, 30% increases across the board to build. is that it's hard to get land and build for the numbers to make sense. So we haven't quite gotten there yet that I've seen on the single family home front in regards to construction costs. Building new houses is very tough. We're doing some, but we've passed on a ton of deals. New construction pricing is up 30% this year. Lumber is up like 85%. It is absolutely bananas. So the fix and flip and renovate to rent is much, much, much better. On the rental side, I would recommend you stay with the programs. Luckily, I have an 85% of my rental portfolio is some sort of government subsidized tenant, and as a result, we cruise through COVID, knock on wood, without any problems. So we got single family, industrial, retail. Listen, retail is not dead, but retail was shifting and dying way before COVID. Obviously, society is changing. They want experience, and I think what this did was just, like I said, pour gasoline on something that was already happening, sped up vacancies, but all this is going to do is encourage retail to reinvent itself. Retail's not dead. Those spaces are not going to stay vacant forever. We as humans are going to adapt. So if you're in retail, I think the trend is smaller spaces, more direct to consumer online, right? Experiences, things that will bring people out of their house to experience that they can't experience from the comfort of their own home. So retail, I'm still into retail. It just has to have good parking and/or an exceptional location. Those little 2 storefront, 2,500 square feet with no parking type of deals on a secondary or tertiary road, those aren't great plays anymore. You got to stay away from those. Office took a massive, massive, massive hit. I don't think it's going to be as bad as people are thinking. Obviously, in America, we're all about extremes. So people were building a ton of office, vacancy rates were very, very low, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, I'm never going back to the office again. What's gonna happen, I think, is companies are realizing that they don't need as much office space, that people are more efficient from home, that they can outsource certain things, that they can be leaner in order to survive. But do I think people are never gonna go back to the office? No, I think certain people like myself need to be in an office, they need motivation, things like that. So whereas we were at one extreme before, we were at another extreme in the middle of COVID, we're gonna settle probably somewhere in the middle. So office will come back, it's just gonna look a little bit different. Multifamily, I mean, depending on your market, on Long Island, it's on fire. People absolutely need places to live. The thing that you have to be very careful of is obviously the eviction laws, not as much on Long Island, but in the boroughs is absolutely crazy. I hear that they're not putting people on the calendar for evictions until 2023. So there's still a massive demand on Long Island for housing. We have negative absorption, which means we literally can't build it fast enough. There's still a ton of opportunity in the multifamily space. You'd have to make sure you're in the right market, you have good management, and you're screening your tenants properly to make sure that you're not gonna get stuck, but still a lot of opportunity here. So that was 2020. 2021, my opinion, more of the same of everything. Single family homes, gonna remain on fire. Industrial, gonna remain on fire. Retail, still going down, needs to reinvent, but there will be some sales. Office, same kind of thing, maybe start to stabilize and start to recover a little bit. Multifamily, still going good. Very, very, very important for 2021 is there's gonna be a lot more opportunity in the sense that in urban areas like New York City, like Chicago, like LA, the smaller multifamily owners or the smaller mom and pop type owners that don't have the money, that maybe have people that aren't paying or whatever it might be, they don't usually have the deep pockets in order to carry these properties for an extended period of time. So what you're gonna see is you're gonna start to see a lot of smaller mom and pops losing buildings, selling buildings, trying to short sale buildings, etc. That's also gonna happen in the single family world. You have a lot of people that lost jobs, that were hanging out, they couldn't get jobs, whatever reason, and they took the mortgage forbearance, or you have people that were in trouble way before COVID, and COVID just kind of kicked the can down the road and gave them another 9 months to a year when courts were closed and they weren't doing foreclosures. I think you're gonna start to see these come to market, and people are gonna be short selling houses, they're gonna be doing deed and liens, and there's gonna be a lot more opportunity in the single family distressed space as well as the multifamily distressed space. So the important thing is, make sure you're living lean, save money, be smart about your investments. Wealth is created in recessionary times, unfortunately, which is where we are right now. But again, if you keep a clear head, you make smart moves, you go out there, you get your education, you do your due diligence, there's a ton of opportunity. 2020, in many ways, was an awesome year. 2021 can be even better for you if you're prepared. So go out there. Once again, I appreciate it. Click the like, subscribe button. We'll see you on the next one.